He had crossed the bridge many times in earlier years, before he had needed the use of the wheelchair. It wasn't on every occasion, but oftentimes he'd see the old man painting on the bridge. Until recently, when his illness had become more severe, he'd never given the man much thought. However, he felt his time was growing short now, and the thought of the old painter somehow comforted him. As he reached the far end of the bridge, the old man was nowhere to be found. What had he expected after all? He couldn't be out here all the time. Best to get home then. The short excursion had already tired out his failing heart. As he turned his chair round, he saw the old man smiling at him, easel already set up and brushes in hand. "Well, you popped up out of nowhere, didn't you?" The old man nodded and gestured for him to come nearer. "Today's the day then. A portrait if you would, good sir." The view was scenic in this part of Wales. He'd never get tired of it. He wished he could speak with the old man, but he didn't know sign language and hadn't remembered his notepad today. With a final stroke, the painter was done. He wrapped the painting in paper. As he did so, he wrote something on the back before presenting it to the man in the wheelchair. "Thank you. I look forward to seeing it once I reach home. Until we meet again, sir." He sat in the garden, the painting on his lap. He peeled off the paper to reveal a portrait of himself, on the bridge, riding a bicycle. He had a good chuckle to himself. Those days were long gone, but the memory hadn't faded. He turned over the painting and read what the old man had written. "It does not matter if others forgive you if you can't forgive yourself. It will be painful at first and the scars will show, but then you can start living again." November 8th, 1955. He took a deep breath. He couldn't explain it, but somehow the words resonated deeply within him. He had carried the guilt from an accident in his past for a long time now. Maybe it was time to let it go. He decided on the spot that no longer would the regret and guilt plague him. He would live out his remaining days at peace with himself. So, the painter sees your past?
Your regrets or mistakes, I believe.
And the painting? The words on the back?
Closure. It allows you to move on from the trauma.
And then he kills you.
No, I don't think so. Simple, Chen. More like gives you peace. In this case, the man was already very sick. His time was close. Perhaps the guilt and regret were the last things keeping him tethered to this world. He found his closure.
Thank you, Pythia. This just came in from the Welsh division.
So our painter is absolving murderers now?
Perhaps? On the back of the painting it reads, "The world has a funny way of putting things into balance through unpredictable means. Children are a precious thing of pure innocence and truth, but one cannot always be there for them."
The remainder of the text was too blurry to be legible. I like that. It's time we bring some balance to her situation. The flight had been long, but both had managed to get some sleep. Where do we start?
Let's go straight to the source, the painter.
As they approached the bridge, it appeared abandoned. No sign of any painter or an easel. A few plainclothed guards stood the perimeter, containing the SCP. Klaus turned to look back in the direction they had come.
Oh, even though I knew that was supposed to happen, it still kind of creeps me out.
You're telling me guys appearing out of thin air isn't something you ever get used to. They approached the man.
Hello, I'm Klaus, and this is Agent Chen.
The old man smiled and gestured for them to stand before him.
Thank you, but we are in a bit of a rush. We just want to ask you some questions.
The old man gestured once again for them to stand before him. Listen, we love art and artisan stuff. Picasso, Da Vinci, Island Boys, you name it. But we just don't have the time for a self-portrait right now. Can you tell us who this is? Klaus showed the man the picture. He frowned and gestured once again to the space in front of his easel. This is going nowhere.
Let's show this picture around the town and see if anyone recognizes her. Well, we're getting nowhere in a hurry. Nobody seems to recognize her.
Yeah, looks like we'll need to try something else.
Hang on a second.
He pulled the phone out and took another look at the picture.
What if... What if she isn't harming that baby?
There's blood on the scissors, on her hands.
Cum hoc ergo propter hoc.
Ego props to who?
With this, therefore, because of this. We see the baby. We see the scissors and the blood. That doesn't mean she killed the baby. Correlation does not imply causation. Come with me.
They returned to the bridge. The old painter was there, waiting for them with a smile on his face.
I think I get it.
The painter merely smiled back and pointed to the space before him. Fine, but if I stand there, you better be ready to answer some questions. He politely nodded as Chen took his place in front of him.
You know this girl, don't you? What you wrote here on the world finding balance and that children are precious even if you can't be with them, that wasn't about murder, was it?
The old man looked back at Floss with an astonished look on his face and shook his head.
The scissors, the blood, the baby. She had a miscarriage. But the scissors. Why the scissors?
The old man pointed at his stomach with the brush in his hand.
Of course. The umbilical cord. The scissors were to cut the umbilical cord. There was no crime here. Just a young woman's loss. But you spoke of the world restoring balance. What did you mean?
The painter reached behind his bag and pulled forth another painting. In it, the same girl stood, but with a baby crying in her arms. He turned over the painting to reveal the same writing as the original, but the blurred words were clear and visible now.
Do not be saddened, for more importantly, a wondrous soul has been brought into this world, given the chance to live. So, she had another child.
The old man smiled and nodded, then returned to his work. A bit of a wasted trip, but worth it, nonetheless.
No trip is wasted if we can learn a little bit more about an SCP. And life, I guess.
You're all heart, Doc. The painter waved his brush as he completed his work. He lifted it off his easel. That's all right. You keep that one.
You sure you don't want to have a little peek?
Nah, I'm good.
Just a teensy-weensy little peek?
I've got no regrets, Doc. Don't need to see whatever it is he's painted.
Fair enough. Thank you for your time.
The old man set the painting down as the two walked away. SCP-3471 is a cast iron tramway bridge in Robertstown, Wales. It is unclear exactly when 3471 began to showcase anomalous properties, though the earliest reports of manifestation date back to 1950. Should any individual attempt to cross SCP-3471, 3471-1 will manifest near the center of the deck, generally peering over the bridge railing. 3471-1 appears to be an elderly Caucasian man, standing approximately 1.8 meters in height and wearing tattered articles of clothing. 3471-1 also displays mannerisms and attributes akin to those affected by significant hearing loss, speaking only through sign language and being unaware of sounds made in its vicinity. In each manifestation, 3471-1 is accompanied by a standard painting easel, a canvas, and a duffel bag, all of which materialize near 3471-1's person. Notably, 3471-1 only manifests completely when its materialization position is out of the field of view of any individuals present. Throughout the interaction, 3471-1 will attempt to coax the subject into standing in its point of manifestation, making sure to keep the individual from moving from that position. If the subject complies with these coercions, 3471-1 will step back to the easel and canvas, proceeding to withdraw acrylic paints, paintbrushes, and similar implements from within the accompanying duffel bag. Following this, 3471-1 will begin to paint the subject through differing depictions with each individual. Once the artwork is presumably completed, 3471-1 will write a message on the back of the painted canvas with a charcoal pencil. The individual receiving the painting tends to interpret the message as relating to impactful events they've experienced. 3471-1 will then proceed to secure the canvas with wax paper and string, and will attempt to give the completed painting to the subject. Guilt and tragedy are scars that last a lifetime, but like any scar, they heal slowly and hurt less as time progresses. Though they may never completely leave us, they will become bearable. Time heals all wounds. As always, have a care and remember to subscribe, like, and share, if you would. Until next time, farewell.